Hey, what's up guys? Benny here and welcome to today's episode of Benny's Bootcamp, the series where we take a look at some of the best gameplay from some of the best players and break it down to see what they do to get insane scores. And this episode, we're taking a look at Scopes, who is currently the #1 on the leaderboard for console for wins. He's got like 1,600 wins or some crazy thing like that, which is absolutely insane. And this gameplay is actually his personal best. So he manages to go ahead and drop 49 kills. It could have been higher, but it's some absolute gutting things. And one of the really interesting things that we're going to learn from this gameplay, and all his links will be down in the description as well to go check him out and say you came up from over here. But some of the really interesting things is it's not necessarily his own individual gun skill at points that allows him to get this ridiculous score, but it's the way that he works with his team. And also there is something unique about this gameplay that we don't see too often from people, and that is the fact that he actually gets a nuke. Now, what I mean by this is he goes on a 30 gun streak without being respawned back into the game, which is pretty rare actually. Most of the time people go to the gulag when they're gulag and reset their gun streak. But here he gets unstoppable medals, he gets the nuke, which is absolutely insane. Now, when you see these sort of gameplays, you'll notice there are a few things that I want to point out as well. Is they get very lucky at the start of the game where they get the glitched out superstore where you get loads of money, which has allowed them to get in UAVs galore. So if you look at the mini map, everyone on the map is marked right now. No one else has had a chance to get their loadout, so they can tell where the most amount of players are in the map. So it means that they can make a decision on which part of the map to head towards. Now, this is key if you want to get high kill games and something that happens. And one thing I will point out is he gets quite fortunate here that a lot of people don't have their loadout weapons, because the choice that he makes to move around the map is just run across the open field. He puts shots down. If they had loadout weapons, could have very easily looked out the window and beamed him, and he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. But gets fortunate there, throwing C4s through a window as you do. Also, he's got one of the highest KDs that I've seen, other than Biffle as well, with 6.22, which is insane. Here, once again, very, very nice. Does a jump shot round the corner. Try and get into the habit of doing this if you can. If you know you're going to engage someone, push through and just jump into it. It gives you that little edge on someone and a bit more momentum going into a gunfight that's going to allow you to win more than you would. But here we're inside of a police station, which is a difficult place to push. They push away. And this next fight here, right, he sees someone's brought back and he's pre-aiming the window. He's doing that because he's expecting the player to climb into the car to drive off, and you'll be able to take him down very quickly. Doesn't do that. Maybe blows his position a little bit early. Person's dropped an airstrike, which is a very good play by that guy to try and get away. But Scopes manages to read it. Chokes a few of his shots, to be honest. Switches to the MP5. One of the reasons I love the Kilo MP5 combo is even if you run out of bullets, you can just quickly switch using Amped and get your right weapon out. Something else I don't see enough people do is using the chopper correctly to get power positions around the map. This is something you really need to be adding into your own game, even if you're not the pilot. Because if you're the pilot, your job isn't always to necessarily land first. It's to get your team into positions, and that is something I cannot wait to disappear in Cold War, because there is a setting in Cold War that means that you don't auto-mantle when in the air, which is what happens there. Gets launched off and gets dropped down to the ground. This is the worst thing that can happen when you have the high ground. Luckily, wins that gunfight. That person could have easily head glitched the loadout drop there, and he would have been in a bit of trouble. But something else when you're working with your team, like this is what I've noticed with this gameplay. Scopes works really well with his team, and his teammates are really helping him to get this high score. So they're calling out, he's marking, but that guy gets marked, able to get position. But what Scopes doesn't do, and this is something that you should learn from, so you make sure you do it, is he's not really checking his minimap too much, even though he has a V setup. Like you can clearly see, if you have a look at the minimap, there's a guy coming to him on the right-hand side, which means if he goes up this ladder, he could easily get beamed. He's very fortunate that this player does not see him climbing the ladder, because he is caught in the middle. There'd be nothing he's able to do, but luckily gets up. But he's still standing on the edge. That player could still shoot him in the back, and Scopes would have no chance whatsoever. Wouldn't be able to get a nuke, but lines it up perfectly, gets that, and positions himself really nicely. Uses this thing on, uses that kind of ventilator on the top of the map as a bit of cover. But what is nice, hold on, let's just go back. He finally checks his mini-map, right? This is what I want to see. He sees the mini-map, sees the guy pushing on the left-hand side, so he's like, oh, I can get this kill. picks it up eventually. Kid's quite fortunate there. That guy could have easily killed him. Mounts here, misses the first guy, but he knows that's a good strong mounting point. So sees the other player, is able to do it, takes him down. Now what he's going to do here is, because he's got that down, he knows his teammate has dropped down. Now most people's teammates' reaction in this sort of situation is go for the red. So he's able to throw that C4 down, knows the teammate's going to be around there, picks up the second kill. Perfect play. Remember that you're always playing not just one person, but an entire team. If you get it down, think about what his teammates are going to be doing to kind of save him, and you'll find yourself being able to play situations a lot better. There, gets it down. They push together the with the chopper. What you'll see, Scopes gets out first here. So one thing I would say is I would have taken the red roof if you look forward. He's marked the roof that he wants to go on, but if I was him, I would take the red roof. Now, the reason I do that is it's a high ground position and it's a little bit better than this blue roof. But nonetheless, he goes on the blue roof. He's able to then get an angle on that team, one of which he's downed as they were running across. Gets another down. Now, misses his C4, throws another one, misses that one as well. But he's got the position, sees the sniper clin. It's one of the most terrifying things in Warzone, I think, is whenever you see a sniper clin and you've not got a self-res, but thankfully he's, Scopes has a self-res, jumps onto the roof, pulls the parachute as close as he can, jumps up. Now, this is one thing I've noticed that about Scopes gameplay, which I think he should change, is he risks a lot. He takes some big risks going for kill thirsts. Now, if you notice, gets this, knows there's another player downstairs, just drops down, tries to get that thirst, has to push back up. Once again, puts himself in a bad position. Like, that is just a little thing. Manages to get his plates off. His teammates come in to help him out and holds that door so he can't push through. So he's got the Easy B's got the down there. And that then allows Scopes to push in. Gets triggered by mine, but goes in with his teammate. Now, this is an important thing. So a lot of players will have, in this situation, have all his shields off and just not gone in with his teammates. Sometimes it is better to not plate up and go with your teammate. Let your teammate go in first, who's got plates on, and push with them. You're going to be able to pick up kills there, rather than just want your teammate gets killed, then you go in and they're going to be able to focus you. Push together at all times. Sometimes it's best not to plate. Here, great call out by his teammate. Managed to take the guy down, and he's able to sit and hold, knowing he's going to get pushed by the last guy on that team. They all have self-reses, which is unlucky. Gets the res. He's being quiet here, trying to hear footsteps. If he hears the footsteps, he'll cancel the res, do it, gets that off, gets the kill, and gets the thirst. Knows the guy's upstairs. Here's the self-res go off. That was a little bit messy. He panicked once again a little bit here. And it's a small thing by Scopes, but that's what we look at in these gameplays. Even though you get a lot of kills, there are always little mistakes that are made along the way. Sees that, pushes. So right now, he should, oh, right. So that was being over-aggressive. Okay, so here, his armor's cracked. The guy has to jump on him. He pushes out, gets down. Very fortunate his teammate comes out, picks up the kill, and gets a wipe, and he gets self-res, which is very, very lucky. Could have been the end of the nuke otherwise. Here, his teammates have got the rooftop, giving call-outs that they're below. Really like Scope's positioning here. Perfect cover line, uses the wall. It's going to be like there only. So it's going to be a hard target to hit. Uses that kilo perfectly. Wipes one. Sees the other guy drop from the roof. Picks that second kill. Knows there's a lot more around here because of the UAV going off. So knows he's getting into a bit closer. So uses that MP5. Checking his things. Oh, that was very, very close. But yeah, nicely done there with the MP5. Bit wavy shots. But perfect jump shot. Gets that kill. And then, oh, he gets the last one as well. That was nice. But yeah, he got a little bit wavy on the shots here. Like, one of the big things I would say is Scopes from the gameplay that I'm watching, he's not got the best shot I've ever seen, but what he does do well is positioning. Like, he needs to be a bit more composed in certain situations, but the teamwork is so on point. That's one of the big things. This squad are working really well together in the way that they push teammates, they stun coordinate. And that is one of the things I find really interesting in Scope's loadout. He's actually got syringes rather than stun grenades. I wonder if that is an intentional decision to be able to survive like the gas a bit more and pull off flanks in such situations. This is something that I've been doing a lot more as well in gunfights. And like you can see, you can just beam people if you do it, but try and mount a little bit more if you're not already. Just get into that habit of, if you're in these long engagements, push a tree and mount quickly. If you get into the habit, sometimes you'll, like you saw him do it there, where you'll go for it and it won't completely go all the way around. Just kind of back up and then recenter. Luckily gets to seize that guy. Not using the hipfire MP5 build, but still at that range, always going to pick up that kill. And also, how happy is that when you get an airstrike off a body? Shoots it. Now, this is a mistake. All right, this is Scopes rides his luck a few times in this gameplay. And what I would always say in this situation is just reset the fight. All right, so he jumps out. He gets caught in the open here and there's 2 targets. First shot's great. If doesn't get that down, then tries to snap onto the other one. Fortunately, they missed their shots. He could have very, very easily gone down here. And this is a nightmare scenario. This is a situation you never want to find yourself in. The gas is right on your ass, and you've got a squad that's ahead of you, which means that you're going to be forced to push. And also, you get that gas mask animation, which is going to throw you off. So if you ever get caught in this, don't necessarily do how Scopes does here. Gets that down there, which is perfect, but try and get a little bit further ahead of the gas so you can get shots on the people running in, and then you're not going to trigger the gas mask animation, because if you trigger that gas mask animation in a gunfight, it can very, very easily get you killed. But here, teammates are once again calling out. They're checking the right hand side where they know those players are. Doesn't get the thirst off there, but sees the guy that is alive, breaks him, nearly gets it down. Very weak. In this situation, the gas is going to do so much work for you here. So your priority is get ahead of the gas and just make sure that you're not going to be caught in the open and downed yourself. So it's a really nice kind of constant sliding, jump shots to keep checking your sides. Really nice work there. So they've moved over to hangars now. They've got a bounty up. Thankfully, teammate in the car there does a nice little ping, and his communication between these guys is perfect. This is quite an unfortunate C4. Throws it over. He actually hits the roof both times, not to finish it, but checks. Now, here, this is a very common place that players are going to go into. And I'm sure, like, let me know if you haven't, but everyone has died to someone hiding behind this box. So get used to kind of going in and being ready to shoot straight away. Like Scopes does there with the hip fire, but what you can do is he just, if you have a look, just mistimes it a little bit. Gets very fortunate that the guy is weapon switching. If he had a shotgun or something like that, could have taken Scopes out, which once again could have ended the nuke. We're getting quite close to nuke, even though he's got 31 kills now. Remember, there's like airstrikes and other things like that. We'll wait till the unstoppable medals start popping up, but he's doing well. Communication once again. Gets that, finishes that kill. Also, tries his teammate to finish that kill, so he keeps on moving so he can get involved. They get the car and start pushing that other squad as well. And like, I always personally like driving, but it's you have to remember, if you are the driver, you are the last person to get out your car, because you need to drag the attention away. So if you're in the car, let your teammates jump out first, and then you keep going to pull the attention and let your teammates get different angles. That's one of the best ways to do it, especially if you're running around with a trophy system. I love this sort of village. This area is one of my favorites to fight because there's loads of jump spots onto the roofs. They've got loads of UAVs coming in once again. Like, if you get VSATs, you're laughing so much, especially in the new buyback mode. This isn't buyback, but if you in buyback, you can get so many kills. Here you have to make a decision. Do you go for the single kill that's behind you, or do you push up to the larger squads? Personally, I would go for larger squads and then allow the gas to do the work for me and bring these players to me where they're going to be in the open. Scopes decides to push in. Now, this is very, very risky. And I think it's because he knows he's on for his personal record. And you'll notice a lot of players make mistakes. And he goes for third. Even though he can hear the guy upstairs, goes for thirst. This guy just kind of loses all kind of control thankfully it was an easy kill for Scopes. But once again, very easily could have been killed because he was going for thirst there. And this is going to be another great example of mounting, because players at a distance, mounts. If you're not mounting, you're not beaming people, even with the kilo at this range perfectly. But gets 2 down, then is able to crack that one, will move his attention to the other one, gets another down, straight away 3 easy downs because he was mounting. And also, when you're mounted in a position like that, you're on like a perfect head glitch, so you're really hard to kill yourself. But that brings him up to 42 kills with 23 people left alive. Like, realistically, this could be like a mid 50 kill game. All right, so big fight around this building. Always a hard building to push, but great job dealing with that window. Really nice snap on there by Scopes. Allows his teammates. His teammates have called someone to the right as well, so Scopes is paying attention to that. But you've got to focus on the house here. Right, a single person, don't allow to attention. Fighting in a building, MP5. Nice. Okay, finishes it. Perfect. Good thing not to plate there. Knows he's got that down. But this is always I hate these situations at endgame. When you've got multiple squads all around you and you're trying to get some sort of control. Right. 46 kills. 14 people left. So he could end up with a 56 kill game here. Once again, no, whole team's here. Now, what I would do in this situation, right? This isn't what Scopes does, but you see the truck on the left. I would use that to climb onto the roof, which is going to give you the highest position on the map, right? And you know you've just cleared the squads behind you, so you know you're not going to get shot from the side. Real power position, but decides to push inside buildings. Well, I hate doing this. There's always a chance someone's always pre-aiming the corners, and you can't really push. Like, boom, straight away. Gets RPG'd, down on the floor. Thankfully, has the self-res. Able to pull this off. But one of the most difficult things, like, if you can, never push a building the way the Scopes has now. Like, I always try and sit off and either, if you've got a jump spot to get through one of these windows, but if you push that stair on the bottom side, like this, right, you can get killed. But this is another great example of not thirsting. This guy on the floor is not a threat. Scopes prioritizes shooting that, nearly gets caught out by the other player. Always remember that. Never, ever prioritize getting... shooting someone that's down, unless they're self-resing. Right, that's the only time. Luckily, teammates are able to mop it up, get the kill. And like I said, right, this was incredible teamwork. It's one of the biggest things I want to stress out here. And this is where I would say, like, composure from Scopes panics. He stops playing the situation how he should. Like here, he wants to go out the back window and get a different angle on the teams, but instead jumps out of his teammates and gets picked up, which is so unfortunate. And he gets then killed by the second guy who comes behind, just going just off the 50 bomb, though it was a nuke, which is insane. Like a nuke in Warzone, but thankfully his teammate Easy B actually pulls off a blinder of play. It's a 1v3 here, and he does this perfectly. This is always what you want to do. So he pushes down and then goes to the circle edge where the gas is going to move, hugging the wall to minimize the angles that he can be shot from. This is always what you want to do here. So he's sitting up top, knowing that those guys are now going to have to push towards him. Try to reduce the amount of noise that he's making, and then tries to just kind of peek and minimize those angles that he's seen. Sees one, knows that he's coming. Use that C4, triggers it, knows he's going to have to push into him, gets one, finishes him. Perfect. And then, oh, that jump shot was perfect. Sees last one, just drastic movement, picks up the third. But that was some amazing gameplay from Scopes. A 49 kill game. Do make sure to go check him out down in the description below. Big thank you for him sending me this gameplay. But that was really fun to look at. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Smash that thumbs up, and I'll see you on another Warzone video.